Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय शीला प्रभुपाद की जय
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Maha Mantra Ki Jai. Haribol, thank you all for coming tonight. And tonight we're going to hear from Srimad Bhagavatam, and chapter 4 and verse number 8. And this verse says, And you can repeat after me. Paritranaya sadunam vinasaya chaduskritam dharma stamsta panartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. And the translation of that is, and repeat after me, to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to reestablish the principles of religion. I myself appear, millennium after millennium. Millennium means like 1,000 years. So Krishna is appearing many times whenever there is what you would call too many miscreants, too many nonsense people, too many sinners. So to annihilate the miscreants and as well to reestablish the principles of religion, which may be, let's say, not followed by too many people. Therefore, he says, I myself appear a millennium after millennium. Okay. Why? Because Krishna is in charge of maintaining the principles of Krishna consciousness. So if there is some serious, let's say, disregard of the principles of Krishna consciousness, he will appear to set things right. And therefore he appears many times throughout history. And then it says, and you can repeat after me, according to Bhagavad Gita, a sadhu, or holy man, is a man in Krishna consciousness. A person may appear to be irreligious, but if he has the qualifications of Krishna consciousness wholly and fully, he is to be considered to be a sadhu. And duskritam applies to those who do not care for Krishna consciousness. Such miscreants, or duskritam, are described as foolish and the lowest of mankind, even though they may be decorated with mundane education, whereas a person who is 100% engaged in Krishna consciousness is accepted as a sadhu, even though such a person may be neither learned nor well educated, or nor well cultured. As far as the atheistic persons are concerned, it is not necessary for the Supreme Lord to appear as he is to destroy them, as he did not want. I'm sorry, 1 second. Just hold 1 second. As far as the atheistic are concerned, it is not necessary for the Supreme Lord to appear as he is to destroy them, as he did with the demons Ravana and Kamsa. The Lord has many agents who are quite competent to vanquish demons. But the Lord especially descends to appease his unalloyed devotees who are always harassed by the demoniac. The demon harassed the devotees, even though the devotees may happen to be his kin. Although Prahlad Maharaj was the son of Hiranyakashipu, he was nonetheless persecuted by his father. Although Devaki, the mother of Krishna, was the sister of Kamsa, she and her husband Vasudeva were persecuted only because Krishna was to be born of them. So Lord Krishna appeared primarily to deliver Devaki rather than to kill Kamsa. But both were performed simultaneously. Therefore, it is said here that to deliver the devotee and vanquish the demons and miscreants, the Lord appears in different incarnations. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita of Krishnadasa Kaviraja, the following verse summarize these principles of incarnation. The avatara or incarnation of Godhead descends from the kingdom of God for material manifestation. And the particular form of the personality of Godhead, who so descends, is called an incarnation or avatara. Such incarnations are situated in the spiritual world, the kingdom of God. When they descend to the material creation, they assume the name avatara. There are various kinds of avatars, such as Purusha Avatara, Guna Avatara, Leela Avatara, Satavisha Avatara, Manvantara Avatara, Yuga Avatara, all appearing on schedule, all over the universe. But Lord Krishna is the primeval Lord, the fountainhead of all avatars. Lord Shri Krishna descends for the specific purpose of mitigating the anxieties of the pure devotees who are very anxious to see him and his original Vrindavana pastimes. Therefore, the prime purpose of the Krishna Avatara is to satisfy his unalloyed devotees. The Lord says that he incarnates himself in every millennium. This indicates that he incarnates also in the age of Kali. As stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the incarnation in the age of Kali is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who spread the worship of Krishna by the Sankirtana movement, the congregational chanting of the holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And spread Krishna consciousness throughout India. He predicted that this culture of Sankirtana would be broadcast all over the world, from town to town and village to village. Lord Chaitanya, as the incarnation of Krishna, the personality of Godhead, is described secretly, but not directly, in the confidential parts of the revealed scriptures, such as the Upanishads, Mahabharata, and Bhagavatam. The devotees of Lord Krishna are very much attracted by the Sankirtana movement of Lord Chaitanya. This avatara of the Lord does not kill the miscreants, but delivers them by his causeless mercy. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. When Lord Krishna comes in his form as Lord Chaitanya, and 500 years ago, he did not come to kill anybody. When Krishna came, before that, he was killing many demons. But when Lord Chaitanya came, he also was killing, but not the body. He was killing people's desires for sense gratification. That's another type of killing. But it's more, let's say, selective killing. You don't kill the person, you kill their desire for doing nonsensical things, meat eating, gambling, illicit sex, intoxication, and so forth. Those four things are very prominent today. You have people that will go to casinos, you have people that go to movies, you have people that do all kinds of nonsense things. But Lord Chaitanya came to distract them, to take them away from those nonsense things, and to get them engaged in acts of devotional service and love for Krishna. So that's what we're doing. That's our purpose here in the Hare Krishna temple in Sammamish. We want to help everyone become Krishna conscious, chant Hare Krishna, have nice prasadam, come with us on Sankirtan, learn more and more about who Krishna is and how to eventually love Krishna with devotion and with complete surrender to the Lord, and eventually even get initiated into Krishna consciousness, and therefore live a very simple and happy life. And at the moment of death, remember Krishna and go back to Godhead. That's our whole program, see? And it's a good program. If you remember Krishna at the moment of death, you go back to Godhead. That means you go back to the eternal world where there's only bliss, happiness, and transcendental, let's say, activities. No more paying taxes, no more who's going to be president, Trump or Biden or this or that. It's all finished. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's the boss. And we are all his devoted, let's say, servants. So service is our real vocation in life. Everybody is serving someone or something. When you don't have someone to serve, usually people will purchase a dog and serve the dog or the cat, you see. So you can't stop serving. But the question is, who is the best person to serve? So this question was asked by the demigods. They wanted to know who was the best person to serve. So they asked one of their, one of their colleagues to find out who was actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he went to see first Lord Brahma, and then he was going to see Lord Shiva, and then he was going to see one other person. So he was the son of Brahma and the brother of Shiva, and eventually he went to see Krishna, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when he went to see Brahma, he did not give his dandabats to Brahma. Brahma got really angry and was going to almost kill him. But then he stopped himself, and then the devotee understood, well, he's not Krishna, or he's not the supreme God. He got so angry, right? Then he went to see Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva wanted to hug him because they were relatives, but he didn't want to be hugged by Lord Shiva because he had a necklace of skulls and had ashes of dead people. And when Lord Shiva saw this, he got so angry he was going to kill his relative, but Lord Shiva's wife stopped him. So then he went to see Lord Vishnu, and when he saw Lord Vishnu, he jumped on the chest of Lord Vishnu, right? And Lord Vishnu said, "Oh, my dear devotee," he said, "I'm afraid that my chest is so hard that it must have hurt your lotus feet." And then the devotee became shocked and jumped off of his chest and bowed down to him and understood that he is actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the most merciful, the most gentle, the most kind, and the most educated of all the living entities. So sometimes we have to test people to see who they are. But the best way to know someone is, do they chant Hare Krishna? Do they follow the regulative principles of Krishna consciousness? No meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, no intoxication, and always chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and always taking part in having nice prasadam and attending the different programs and festivals that we have in a temple. In this way, you can recognize who is a devotee and who is not a devotee. See? The non-devotees, they're not so interested in coming to Hare Krishna temple or Hare Krishna festivals or eating Hare Krishna prasadam. They're more interested in watching television, going to the casino, and eating and drinking beer and eating meat and so forth. But when a person begins to associate with devotees, gradually they lose their interest in these sinful activities and become very, very, let's say, happy performing devotional service in the company of real devotees. So that should be our purpose in life. Tell me who your friends are, I can tell you who you are. So if you associate with genuine devotees, then you will be recognized as a genuine devotee also. Association is very important. If you're like topsy-turvy, half the time you're with devotees and the other half the time you're with nonsense people, well, that's not very good. Or all the time you're with nonsense people, that's even worse. So the best thing is to find out a temple where there is actually love and devotion for the deities, for Radha and Krishna and Sita and Ram. And along with that devotion, there's nice prasadam. And along with the prasadam, there are nice devotees who treat you with respect and are gentle and who are always helping you to understand who Krishna is. So when you come to this temple, we try to help people to understand who Krishna is. He is not an ordinary person. He's not an extraordinary person. He is the unique supreme personality of Godhead. No one is equal to him. No one is greater to him. Everyone is subordinate to him. When we learn about Krishna in this way, we become a devotee also. So in this verse today, it says, one who knows the transcendental nature of my, meaning Krishna, appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take birth again in the material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatvata tyakvadeham punarjanma naitimam eti. So Arjuna. It's a beautiful verse. We should learn this verse. Let's repeat this. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatvata tyakvadeham punarjanma naitimam eti. So Arjuna. This is poetry. This is very, very nice. And this verse says, one who knows the transcendental nature of my, meaning Krishna's appearance and activities, does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in the material world, but attains his eternal abode, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. So it's a very important verse. And in the purport it says, and you can repeat after me, the Lord descends from the transcendental abode and is already explained in the in the 6th verse. One who can understand the truth of the appearance of the personality of Godhead is already liberated from material bondage, and therefore he returns to the kingdom of God immediately after quitting this present material body. Such liberation of the living entity from material bondage is not at all easy. The impersonalists and the yogis attain liberation only after much trouble and many, many births. Even then, the liberation they achieve, merging into the impersonal Brahmajyoti of the Lord, is only partial. And there is the risk of returning to this material world. But the devotee, simply by understanding the transcendental nature of the body and activities of the Lord, attains the abode of the Lord after ending his body, and does not run the risk of returning to this material world. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that the Lord has many, many forms and incarnations. Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Anantarupam. Although there are many transcendental forms of the Lord, they are still one and the same Supreme Personality of Godhead. One has to understand this fact with conviction. Although it is incomprehensible to mundane scholars and empiric philosophers. As stated in the Vedas, the one supreme personality of Godhead is eternally engaged in many, many transcendental forms in relationship with his unalloyed devotees. This Vedic version is confirmed in this verse of the Gita, personally by the Lord. He who accepts this truth on the strength of the authority of the Vedas and of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and who does not waste time in philosophical speculations, attains the highest perfectional stage of liberation. Simply by accepting this truth on faith, one can, without doubt, attain liberation. The Vedic version of Tatvamasi, is actually applied in this case. Anyone who understands Lord Krishna to be the Supreme, or who says unto the Lord, you are the same Supreme Brahman, the personality of Godhead, is certainly liberated instantly, and consequently, his entrance into the transcendental association of the Lord is guaranteed. In other words, such a faithful devotee of the Lord attains perfection. And this is confirmed by the following Vedic statement. In the beginning, one must have a preliminary desire for self-realization. This will bring one to the stage of trying to associate with persons who are spiritually elevated. In the next stage, one becomes initiated by an elevated spiritual master. And under his instruction, the neophyte devotee begins the process of devotional service. By execution of devotional service, under the guidance of the spiritual master, one becomes free from all material attachment, attains steadiness in self-realization, and acquires a taste for hearing about the absolute personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. This taste leads one further forward in attachment for Krishna consciousness, which is matured in bhava, or the preliminary stage of transcendental love of God. Real love for God is called prema, the highest perfectional stage of life. In the prema stage, there is constant engagement in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So, by the slow process of devotional service, under the guidance of the bona fide spiritual master, one can attain the highest stage being freed from all material attachment, from the fearfulness of one's individual spiritual personality, and from the frustrations that result in void philosophy. Then one can ultimately attain to the abode of the Supreme Lord. This is a very nice verse. Okay, we're going to have RT now. And after RT, we will continue more. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
कि बजयो जय गौर चांदे आरती कसोभा
जयो जयो गौर चांदे आरती को शोभा
जानावी अटवाने जगा मन लोभा
जानावी दाडवाने जगा मन लोभा
जय जय गौर चांदे आरती कसोभा
कि बजय जय गौर चांदे आरती को शोभा
जानावी टाटावाने जगा मन लोभा
ओ जानावी दाडवाने जगा मन लोभा
दाखीने निताय चान बामे गदाधार
कि बदाकी ने निताय जाम बामे गदाधारा
निकाटे अद्वैत श्रीनी वासा चक्रधार
ओ निकाटे अद्वैत श्रीनी वासा चक्रधारा
अबोसियाचे गौरचान रत्न सिंहासने
कि बाबोसी अजय गौरजान रत्न सिंहासने
आरती कोरे ना ब्रह्मा आदिदेव गाने
तो आरती कोरे ना ब्रह्मा आदिदेव गाने
वनरारी आदि कोरी चामरा धुलाया
जीवन रे आदि कोरी चामरा दुलाया
संजया मुकुंद बात घोष आदि गाया
संजय मुकुंद बासु गोजादि गाया
शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करता
ओ शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताला
शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताला
ओ शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताला
माधुरा मृदंगा बाजे परमरसाला
ओ माधुरा मृदंगा बाजे परमरसाला
माधुरा मृदंगा बाजे परमरसाला
ओ माधुरा मृदंगा बाजे परमरसाला
शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे
ओ शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे
शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे
ओ शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे
माधुर 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 बाजे
ओ माधुर 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 बाजे
माधुर 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 बाजे
ओ माधुर 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 बाजे
माधुर 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 बाजे
ओ माधुर 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 बाजे
ओ माधुर 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 बाजे
ओ माधुर 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 बाजे
गौरांगे रति कसोबा जग जान माना लोभा
गौरांगे राधिक शोभा जग जन माना लोभा
गौरांगे रति कसोबा जग जान माना लोभा
गौरांगे राधिक शोभा जग जन माना लोभा
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya.
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 Radha Ramana Hari Govinda 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 Jaya Jaya.
Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya.
Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya.
Radha Ramana Hari Govinda 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 Jaya Jaya.
Radhe 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 Govinda.
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 Radhe Govinda Jaya 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 Radhe Govinda.
Radhe 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 Govinda.
Radhe Govinda Jaya 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 Radhe Govinda.
Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya.
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 Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya.
Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya.
Krishna 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 He.
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 Krishna Kesava Krishna Kesava Krishna Kesava Pahi Ma.
Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Pahi Ma.
Krishna Kesava Krishna Kesava Krishna Kesava Pahi Ma.
Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Pahi Ma.
Ram Raghav Ram Raghav Ram Raghav Raksha 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 Ma.
Ram Raghav Ram Ram Raghav Raksha Mam.
Krishna 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 Krishna
Hey
Hey
Krishna 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 Hey
Krishna 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 Hey
Krishna 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 Hey
Krishna Kesava Krishna Kesava Krishna Kesava Pahi
Oh
Mam
Krishna Kesava Krishna Kesava Krishna Kesava Pahi Mam.
Krishna Kesava Krishna Kesava Krishna Kesava Pahi
Oh
Mam
Krishna Kesava Krishna Kesava Krishna Kesava Pahi Mam.
Ram Raghav Ram Raghav Ram Raghav Raksha
Oh
Mam
Ram Raghav Raksha Mam.
Ram Raghav Ram Raghav Ram Raghav Raksha
Oh
Mam
Ram Raghav Raksha Mam.
Ram Raghav Ram Raghav Ram Raghav Raksha Mam
Oh Ram Raghav Raksha Mam.
किब बहु कोटि चंद्र जीनी वदना उज्ज्वल
कोटि
चंद्र जीनी वदना उज्ज्वल काला देशे बानामाला कोरे जलमाला
काला देशे माला कोरे जलमाला
शिव शिवा सुख नारादा प्रेम गदा गदा
शिवा शिवा शुक नारदा प्रेमे गदा गदा
भक्ति विनोदा देखे गोरार संपादा
भक्ति विनोदा देखे गोरार संपादा
जय राधा नील माधव राधा नील माधव राधा नील माधव श्री राधे
जय राधा नील माधव राधा नील माधव श्री राधे
जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय भक्त प्रहलाद
जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय भक्त प्रहलाद
जय सीताराम जय लक्ष्मण हनुमान जय सीताराम जय लक्ष्मण हनुमान
जय सीताराम जय सीताराम जय सीताराम जय लक्ष्मण हनुमान
जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय सुदर्शना
जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रमा जय सुदर्शन चक्र
नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल
नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल
जय जय प्रभुपाद
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 प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद
जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद
जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव
जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव
Please pay obeisances. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमांच परदिगाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री ऐसी भक्तिवेदांत शील प्रभुपाद गोस्वामी महाराज की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नमाचार्य श्री ललिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवाचार्य गौर भक्त वृंद की समवेत भक्त वृंद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल्ड डिवोटीज ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल्ड डिवोटीज ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल्ड डिवोटीज ऑल ग्लोरीज श्री गुरु गौरंग शीला प्रभुपाद की जय
नमस्ते नरसिंहाय
नमस्ते नरसिंहाय
प्रह्लादलाददायिने
प्रह्लादलाददायिने
हिरण्यकाशिपूर्वक्षः
हिरण्यकाशिपूर्वक्षः
शीलटङ्कानकालाय
शीलटङ्कानकालाय
इतो नरसिंहो परतो नरसिंहो
इतो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह
इतो नरसिंहो परतो नरसिंहो
इतो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह
यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहो
यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंह
बहिर्नरसिंह हृदये नरसिंह
बाहिर्नरसिंह हृदये नरसिंह
नरसिंहादिम शरणं प्रपदे
नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये
तव करकमलवरे नकाम् अद्भुत शृङ्गां दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गां केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
तव करकमलवरे नकाम् अद्भुत शृङ्गां दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गां केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
जय केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
जय केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव
जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव
ओ जय प्रह्लाद महाराज भक्त प्रह्लाद प्रह्लाद महाराज जय भक्त प्रह्लाद
जय प्रह्लाद महाराज प्रह्लाद महाराज प्रह्लाद महाराज जय भक्त प्रह्लाद
जय प्रभुपदा जय गुरुदेवा जय प्रभुपदा जय गुरुदेवा
जय प्रभुपदा जय गुरुदेवा जय प्रभुपदा श्रील गुरुदेवा
निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल। जय श्री विघ्नहर्ता नरसिंहदेव भगवान की, भक्त प्रहलाद महाराज की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, सामवेद भक्तवृंद की, बोल प्रेमानंदे हरि 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 बोल।
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So welcome for the Sunday feast. And today's feast sponsors are Bipin Roy Vyas, occasion of Papa's anniversary, and Kushwant Chowdhury Kandala, occasion is Vaikuntha Ekadasi, which was yesterday or day before. Gauri Verma, occasion birthday, and Neeraj Yadav, occasion David's birthday, and Sisir Gudipati on his birthday. So Hare Krishna, we thank all the sponsors because this money goes in giving the free feast in Seattle area through our free food truck and also here. So please do contribute on for every occasion, whatever you have. And now we'll continue the Bhagavad Gita class. Please stay back. Harivilas Maharaj is coming. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One more time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Maha Mantra Ki Jai. Please always chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Hare Bol. All right, so today we're going to hear from the Bhagavad Gita and chapter 5 and verse number 22. And this verse says, "An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery, which are due to contact with the material senses, O son of Kunti. Such pleasures have a beginning and an end, and so the wise man does not delight in them." And the explanation of this verse follows by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Prabhupada says, material sense pleasures are due to the contact of the material senses, which are all temporary because the body itself is temporary. A liberated soul is not interested in anything which is temporary. Yeah, so in life there are things that are sat, and there are other things that are asat. So sat means what is eternal, and asat means which is temporary. Knowing well the joys of transcendental pleasures, how can a liberated soul agree to enjoy false pleasure? In the Padma Purana, it is said, the mystics derive unlimited transcendental pleasures from the absolute truth, and therefore the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, is also known as Rama. In the Srimad Bhagavatam also it is said, "My dear sons, there is no reason to labor very hard for sense pleasure while in this human form of life. Such pleasures are available to the stool eaters," meaning dogs and hogs. "Rather, you should undergo penances in this life by which your existence will be purified, and as a result, you will be able to enjoy unlimited transcendental bliss." Okay, so I want to talk about the word penances. Usually penances are things people undertake because they have made mistakes in their life. And it's usually something that you perform, like, fasting, or you give up something, and it's usually uncomfortable, but you do it. However, in Krishna consciousness, the penances that you perform in Krishna consciousness are all happy things. So chanting more rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, that's a happy thing. Having nice prasadam, it's a happy thing. And going out on Harinam Sankirtan and chanting for the benefit of the public, that's a happy thing. So in Krishna consciousness, our penances are usually things that you do because you've made some mistakes. But our penances are all happy things. Chanting Hare Krishna, having nice prasadam, hearing classes given by genuine devotees, going on Harinam Sankirtan. These are penances also, but they're all happy things. So in Krishna consciousness, even if you've made some mistake, maybe you commit some sin, the penance is chanting and dancing. Chanting Hare Krishna and dancing while you're chanting, and having nice prasadam and hearing nice lectures and going on Sankirtan. So there is what you would call constant happiness in Krishna consciousness. Even penances in Krishna consciousness are happy things, right? It's not like you can you put into jail for 3 days. No, it's nothing like that. The penances in Krishna consciousness is you have to chant more Hare Krishna. You have to have nice prasadam. You have to also associate with nice devotees. So in that way, you rectify the mistakes that you made. So in this verse today, it says, the symptoms of the self-realized person are given here. The first symptom is that he is not illusioned by the false identification of the body with his true self. That's a major statement. Almost everybody, as soon as they're born, and especially as they get older, they identify with their body. But how can you identify with the body? Because it's always changing. If you say, I am this body, I can ask you, which body? The one you had when you were born, the one you had when you were 6 years old, or 12 years old, or 20 years old, or 50 years old. You cannot say, I am this body, because it's always changing. All right, then the next question then is, what am I exactly? You are the witness of all the changes of the body. That means you have consciousness, and that consciousness is coming from your soul. And therefore, your soul is going to witness all the changes of the body that you're going through. Therefore, you cannot say, I am this body. I am the soul that witnesses the changes of the body. So almost everybody identifies with the body. And along with the body, there are different, let's say, levels of identification. But if you simply understand, I'm not this body, then the question is, who am I exactly? And this is a fundamental question that everybody has to, let's say, understand. Who am I exactly? Am I the body, or am I the soul that's animating the body with consciousness? So now, if you say that, you have to learn what is the soul. And you have to understand how to act on the level of the soul. Now, most relationships in this world are body-to-body relationships. In Krishna consciousness, we learn soul-to-soul relationships. There's a major difference between body-to-body relationships and soul-to-soul relationships. Now, what is a soul-to-soul relationship? That is, both you and another person engage in chanting Hare Krishna and dancing and also having prasadam together and also going on parikrama together, and this togetherness based on Krishna consciousness. That's soul-to-soul relationship. Body-to-body relationship, you go to a baseball game, you go to a football game, you go to the casino, you do this, you do that, all nonsense things. But the soul-to-soul relationship is fun, and at the same time, it's spiritual. There's nothing vulgar about it. When you go to a casino with a friend, it's vulgar. You know, people are smoking, people are gambling, talking nonsense, and so forth. But a soul-to-soul relationship is very special. It's transcendental, and it enlivens you because you're learning something new all the time. Just like every day, we have class twice a day, sometimes even 3 times a day. And in every class, we learn something new. Like today, we're reading from the 5th chapter, verse number 20. And it says, the symptoms of the self-realized person are given here. The first symptom is that he is not illusioned by the false identification of the body with his true self. Now, that's a very profound statement. Almost everybody identifies themselves with their body, but that's not true. How do we know it's not true? Well, if you say, I am this body, well, I can ask you a question. I say, which body are you? The one you were when we were 1 year old, or 5 years old, or 10 years old, 20 years old? You see, your body is always changing. Therefore, you cannot say, I am this body. So what can you say to identify yourself? You can say, I am the soul that is animating the consciousness in this body. Okay. So now we establish that you're not the body. You're something else. You have an eternal soul that is filling the body with consciousness by which you can understand things. First thing to understand is, I am not this body. That's the beginning of spiritual life, when you understand, I am not this body, because the body is always changing. What am I? I am the soul that is animating this body with consciousness, but even more so, my real constitutional position is that I am the eternal servant of Krishna, who is my origin. We all have come from Krishna, who is God, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When we begin to learn these things, now you become a real person. And now, with this type of knowledge, you learn how to actually love another person. How do you learn to love another person? You begin by learning how to love Krishna. And when you love Krishna, then you can easily love everyone else. Because Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and He's the source of everything. So this is the beginning of real education. All our children should begin with this knowledge, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Father of all living entities, not only human beings, all living entities, trees and bugs and birds and so forth. And therefore, one sees the world differently when you have this type of knowledge. You learn to respect all living entities and not purposely hurt anyone. That means you don't try not to step on any ants. You try not to kill anything. You're always very careful the way you live. We should always be conscious that all living entities have the right to live, and we should not unnecessarily kill them. Okay, so this verse is saying the symptoms of the self-realized person are given herein. The first symptom is that he is not illusioned by the false identification of the body with his true self. All right, so we can understand that identifying with the body is false. But what is the truth self exactly? And it says, he knows perfectly well that he is not this body, but is the fragmental portion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now that's a major statement. That means that we have all come from God, and the name of God is Krishna. Krishna has other names also, but our real origin, our real, let's say, father is Krishna. And because we have come from Krishna, we are part and parcel of Krishna. We're never really separated from him. We can forget that we were originally with Krishna, or that we are part and parcel of Krishna, but Krishna never forgets. And when we become self-realized, then we understand that we're all originally with Krishna. And we are never really separated from Krishna. And everybody is maintained by Krishna. Like, for example, there are so many things happening in our body, we don't really understand them. But somebody understands them because they're working. So who's the person that understands all the different things happening in the body? It's Krishna. He's controlling everything, the heartbeat and the blood and the muscles and this and that, the eyes, the hair, everything. He's controlling all of those things. We're not in control of them. Are you in control of your hair, Prabhu? But Krishna is controlling it, see? So we have to accept that we're not really in control of this body, although we might think I'm the controller, I'm the knower of the body, but we don't really know the body. There's so many things that are mysterious about this human body. So when we begin to read Bhagavad Gita, all these questions are answered. We need to get the answers to these questions. But the main question is, who am I exactly? And what am I really meant to do in this life? Well, who am I? I am the eternal servant of Krishna. And what am I really meant to do in this lifetime? I should be engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. If you think like that, then something wonderful happens. Krishna will protect you, Krishna will give you knowledge, and Krishna will always lead you in the right path so that you can eventually, at the moment of death, remember Krishna and go back to the spiritual world. That's a good deal, and you don't even have to pay for it. Yeah. So, uh, unless we learn who we are in relationship to Krishna, see, in other words, people identify who they are in relationship to someone else. In a vacuum, you can't, or in in a vacuum, you can't really understand who you are. It's in relationships that you understand who you are. So the most important relationship we can develop is our relationship with Krishna, because he's the father of all living entities. And that's why when you come to the temple, you see the form of Krishna here with Radharani, and you hear things like we're hearing things now about Krishna, and you're chanting Krishna's names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So it's this association with Krishna that we actually begin to learn who we really are and what we are really meant to do in this life. What are we meant to do in this life? People can say so many things, but actually the real thing is we have to learn how to free ourselves from the cycle of birth and death. That means that we're a real person. A person who is not acting like a real human being. They're engaged in going to casino, drinking liquor, engaging in illicit sex, this thing, that thing, and always avoiding God or Krishna. So they don't really understand who they are. They don't understand what is the purpose of life. They're going to be confused at the moment of death. In fact, this is the bad news for those people. People who are really sense gratifiers, their prayer to God, although they don't believe in God, but their prayer is, one, when they die, there's nothing. Two, that they only live once. So they're praying to God or somebody that they should only live once, and when they die, there's nothing. But that's not true. Both statements are not true. You don't only live once. You have an eternal soul. Maybe you'll change your body many times, but you can never really die because you have an eternal soul. And but there are 8,400,000 species of life. To come to the human form of life, you went through all those species, right? And the human form of life is the only form from which you can liberate yourself from the cycle of birth and death. So when a person wastes their human life by engaging in, intoxication, gambling, illicit sex, meat eating, and so forth, then in the next life they will not have a human life. They'll go back into the animal life, or even less, insect life, or even less, worm life, because they're sinful activities. Now, because you're eternal, then you'll have to, again, gradually go from one species to another species to another species, and again come back to the human form of life. It could take millions of years, right? So right now we have human body. What does that mean? Well, it means that there's a great responsibility that comes with this human body. The human body is the only form of life in which you can understand your relationship with God. If you have a body of an ant, the ant can't understand its relationship with God. If you have the body of a dog, the dog can't understand its relationship with God. You have the body of a giraffe. The giraffe can't understand its relationship with God. But if you have a human body, there's a big responsibility that comes with it. The whole purpose of the human body is to understand your relationship with God. It's not to drink liquor, go to parties, gamble, make a lot of money. No. And by the way, all those things are temporary. Just look at what's happening right now people with such nice houses and cars, they lost them, right? And terrible, loss has taken place right in front of our eyes, this week. So you see how ephemeral material things are. One day you have a house, and then the fire comes, and you don't have a house anymore. It burned down, right? So we should not be proud of having a lot of ownership of things, because they're all going to be temporary things. We should be more concerned about having a real relationship with Krishna or God, because that can never be taken away from you. Okay? So, and Krishna is promising, if you become his devotee, he's promising that he will protect his devotee. So that's what we should focus on. We shouldn't focus on just making a lot of money and having houses and cars and things like that, because all those things can be in one day or in 1 minute completely destroyed, as we're seeing, right? How many people have lost their house? 10,000 plus property. 20,000. Yeah. And it happened, how quickly did it happen? It happened almost instantly, you see? So none of those things are permanent. But one thing is permanent, that's your relationship with Krishna. That you can never lose, and no one can take you away from it. And Krishna is promising to protect his devotee. So our real interest in life should be to build our relationship with Krishna. And it's very easy in this age. Previously, it was more complicated in previous age, like Satya Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga, and in those periods of time, it was more complicated. In this period now, which is Kali Yuga, which is the worst time to be living in the material world, but because it's so difficult, it's certain things they're called dispensations. There's certain things that have been given to us in this age by Krishna's mercy, by which we can easily become liberated from this cycle of birth and death. All you have to do is two major things. Chant Hare Krishna, have nice prasadam. If you chant Hare Krishna, have nice prasadam, you'll be happy. So, that's the main thing. Chant Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. And take nice prasadam every day, but it has to be real prasadam. One day, this lady said to me, Prabhuji, please come and have some prasadam. Oh, I said, well, first let me ask you a question. Did you cook the prasadam? She said, no. I said, who cooked the prasadam? She said, well, I got it from the Taj Mahal restaurant. I said, oh, you know who the cook is? She said, yeah. I said, what's the cook's name? She said, Ahmed. So I told her, well, I'm going to skip your prasadam because it's not really prasadam. Ahmed doesn't know how to cook prasadam. So we have to be careful. Everything that shines is not gold, and everything is not prasadam either. Prasadam is a very, very special transcendental, let's say, substance. It's not ordinary food. It's something very, very special because, of course, you begin with only vegetarian vegetables and milk and things like that, but no meat or fish or eggs or any of those horrible things. And you cook it with love and devotion, and you offer it first to Krishna. And then Krishna offers it back as his prasadam. Now you have a supernatural substance. It's no longer simply food. Now you might say, oh, what do you mean? It looks like food still. Yes, but because you offered it to Krishna correctly, and he offers it back to you, now by eating prasadam, your whole life will change. And believe me, your whole life will change. You'll change from being a materialist to being a devotee. Simply by eating prasadam. This is the only religion in which you can attain spiritual perfection by eating. Now, everybody's eating every day, right? Some people eat once a day, some people eat twice a day, some people eat 3 times a day, some people eat 10 times a day. So if you eat only prasadam, you become purified. But prasadam is not like that lady told me. So, oh, Prabhuji, please come and have some prasadam. I said, okay, but let me ask you a question first. Who cooked the prasadam? Did you cook? She said, no. She said, I got the prasadam from restaurant. I said, which restaurant? She said, it's the Taj Mahal restaurant. I said, well, do you know who the cook is? She said, yeah, his name is Ahmed. I said, Ahmed does not know how to make prasadam. Yeah. So everything is not prasadam, just like everything that shines is not gold. So we have to wake up and become educated to know what is something that we can offer to God and what are things that we can't offer to God. So we can't offer liquor and meat and things like that to Krishna, but we can offer milk and nice vegetables and fruits and nuts and things like that. They're all sattvic foods. So we should strive to make everything we do in the mode of sattva guna, the mode of goodness. Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Ki Jai. And as we make more advancement in spiritual life, we'll be able to get to the level of transcendental goodness. Now you really have achieved something that's unique and of real benefit. Transcendental goodness, where you don't have any material desires. All your desires are to please Krishna with love and devotion. And the food that you eat has been offered to Krishna with love and devotion, and you wait for him to eat it. And sometimes people say, well, wait a minute. You have this food on a plate, and you offered it to God, but it comes back and the food is still there. How did God eat the food if it's still there in the dish? You know what the answer is? Huh? Yeah, see, Krishna is different than us, obviously. He can eat with his toe. He can eat with his eyes, see? Every part of his body is transcendental and has complete transcendental powers. We can only see with our eyes. We can only eat with our tongue, right? But Krishna can see with his fingers if he wants. You know, he has his body is not a normal material body. And we learn this by reading the Shastras, reading Bhagavad Gita. You know, the more we know about Krishna, the more we will avoid being an idiot and making major mistakes in our life, right? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. All right, so I'm going to ask you a question. Do you have any questions? That was my question. Anybody have a question? Now, you have to have at least one question. Otherwise, I might be convinced that you're all brain dead. You don't want to be brain dead. So, are there any questions? Go ahead. Anybody? Ladies, you have a question, don't you, Mataji? You always have a question. You always have a smile, that's for sure. Okay, she has a question. What are we going to do when she's going to go back to India tomorrow? What are we going to do? If she's not here, nobody's going to ask a question. Yeah, you have to send us some of your questions from India. When you're there. Yeah. Once you realize that, then your problems go away in life. You realize that the real benediction is being in relationship with God. In the material world, you're always going to be cheated. The spiritual world, you're always going to be benefited. Therefore, we should be always involved with spiritual people and spiritual things. Yeah. Okay, what is your question, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Hare Bol.
Pancham Pram, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Maharaj, my question is that we are doing the japa and devotees are doing the japa very sincerely. And but sometimes many devotees suffered a lot, and another devotees is used to say, yeah, it's your karma is going to imbalanced. So if we are doing the japa, then why devotees suffer? My question is that. Why sometimes they suffer? Even devotees suffer more a lot. Some devotees, can't say all. So why?
Well, the devotees that suffer are making mistakes. That's why they're suffering. If you strictly follow Krishna consciousness, you will not suffer. Look at Haridas Thakur. He was beaten in 22 different places, right? In 22 different marketplaces, yeah. But he didn't suffer. Now, he himself was confused why he didn't suffer. So he went to see Lord Chaitanya to try and find out why he didn't suffer, although he was beaten terribly, and he had to die also. In other words, the guys that were beating him, there were two people beating him, they said, when they saw that he wasn't dying, they begged him, please, if you don't die, the Mahat was going to kill us. So please die. He said, okay, I'll die. So when it looked like he died, then the two guys that were beating him up, they told the big guy, they said, you can come and see. And he came and he gave a big kick to Haridas Thakur, and then it looked like he was dead, right? So then he said, okay, throw his dead body into the river. So they threw his dead body into the Ganges. And he went down the Ganges, some way, and then he came out. And then later on, he went to the house of the Nawab that beat him or had him beaten. And when he knocked on the door, the Nawab opened the door, and he got shocked like this. He said, oh, you're dead. He said, no, I'm not dead. He said, oh, please have mercy on me. Have mercy on me. He said, never should you ever hurt a Vaishnava again the rest of your life. He said, nice, I promise you. Please, please, I promise you. So here's a person who is beaten basically to death, but he didn't die. Right? Why? Well, when he went to see Lord Chaitanya turned his back to him, and all the beating that he was supposed to happen to him, he could see that Lord Chaitanya's back was full of many, many, scars. In other words, Lord Chaitanya accepted all the beating to relieve his devotee from misery. Now, you might say, oh, that sounds like a nice story, but it's not real. No, it is real. And you will experience it also in your life if you become sincere about following Krishna consciousness. That Krishna promises that he will always protect his devotee. So if you have bad karma, and let's say you're destined to die when you're 40 years old, but when you get to be 40 years old, but because you've been following Krishna consciousness, instead of dying, you get a cut on your finger. So why? Because Krishna is protecting you. We have to have that faith. See, everything begins with faith. Just like when you go to buy a ticket to go to India, right? And the ticket salesman says to you, don't buy this ticket. That plane is going to crash. Would you buy the ticket? Huh? What? Of course. No, not fear. You lost your faith. I mean, when you buy a ticket to go to India, you have faith that you're going to actually land safely. If someone puts a doubt in your mind, you're not going to buy it, even if they say it's free. You say, no, I don't want it. You say, you have to have faith that that plane is going to land safely in Mumbai, you know. So without faith, you would not, even if they pay you to get on the airplane, you would not get on the airplane. Right? So everything depends on faith. But you should put your faith in Krishna. That's the gold standard. If you put your faith in mundane people or mundane things, no, that's not the gold standard. That's the stool standard. You will be cheated. But if you put your faith in Krishna always, and he promises, he says, Konte apratijanihi, name bhakta pranasyati. Declare it boldly, Arjuna, that my devotee never perishes. So we have to believe the words of Krishna. Okay, any other questions? Yes, Prabhu.
I have one more
Wait a
question.
minute. You already asked the question.
I have one more question.
Okay.
Yeah, when I was in college in my MTech, then my one faculty told to me that we are very single unit, very small unit, and God can't see us. God can't help us. He have no time. We are just like ant. So
Well, whoever told you that was a nonsense person. So just ignore what they said. Don't even waste your time trying to understand that. You know, it's not true. Okay, so you have a question, Prabhu. Yeah, he's going to bring you the microphone.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I read somewhere not only food, everything we get, we should offer to Krishna, like car or phone or anything we'll use in our life. Is that true? Or?
Well, we do car puja.
Yeah.
Everything belongs to Krishna. Okay? But you don't, I mean, you can use everything in Krishna's service. That's what you should do. Use everything in Krishna. So you have a car. So instead of driving your car to a party where people are going to drink liquor and talk nonsense, and now you misuse that car, right? But if you drive the car to come to the temple, yeah, you used it correctly. So everything you have should be used correctly in the service of Krishna. Otherwise, you won't be protected by the mercy of Krishna. There was this one devotee, we gave him a car because he was doing a lot of service in the temple. And he had a really bad accident. So I went to the hospital to see him. And I said, how did this happen? Such an accident? He said, I don't even know myself. I said, well, where were you going? He said, I was going down to Seattle. I said, okay, but what were you going for in Seattle? So I don't know. He said, he didn't really answer me. So I said, wait a minute. I said, where were you going? Well, I was going to go see a movie. I said, oh, now we understand why you had the accident, because we gave you the car to use only in Krishna's service, and you violated your mandate. And that's why you were not being protected by Krishna, because you were using the car, Krishna's car, in something that's nonsense. Yeah. So that was a real thing. I'm not making that story up. So if we use everything in Krishna's service, we'll be protected by Krishna. But if we use sometimes for Krishna and sometimes for nonsense, now we're not protected. You were protected those times that you use for Krishna, but the times that you do nonsense, you're not protected. Just like this devotee, when he was using the car properly, going on Sankirtan or getting pick up food and bring to the temple to be used, there was no problem. But that day when he used that car that was given to him by the devotees, by the temple, to be used in Krishna's service, and now he was using it selfishly to go watch some nonsense movie, he was not protected, and he had a severe accident. So, we should, if we're going to become a devotee, we have to understand it's big responsibility. You can't be wishy-washy, Well, I'll be a devotee, half the time, the other half the time I'll do nonsense. No. You have to be 100% dedicated to serving Krishna with love and devotion. And you can do it. It's easier to serve Krishna with love and devotion than to do nonsense. When you do nonsense, there are always problems, right? Just like there was one devotee, this is a long time ago, we went out on Sankirtan, and he was preaching and distributing books, But when everything was over, we were going to come back to the temple. He wasn't there. And so we went back to the temple, and we didn't know where he was. Right? And 2 days later, he came to the temple. So I said, Prabhu, what happened? Where were you? He said, oh, I was doing preaching. Oh, I said, good, very good. I said, who were you preaching to? He said, oh, I was preaching to someone. I said, for 2 days? He said, yes. I said, well, was that someone a male or a female? And he said, well, it's a person, right? I said, well, listen, answer the question. Was it a male or a female? He said, well, it was a female. I said, oh, okay. So you spent 2 days with this female? He said, yes. And I said, look, this is nonsense, what you did. And then we found out some months later that that lady was pregnant. You see, you can't hide anything in life. So either you're going to be a devotee or you're going to be a nonsense, right? So you have to follow the rules and regulations of Krishna consciousness. And it's easier to follow the rules and regulations in Krishna consciousness than to break them. Once you break those rules and regulations, you're going to have problems. If you follow them, you're under the protection of Krishna. He promises that. So it's easier to follow the rules and regulations of Krishna consciousness. No meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, no intoxication, and always chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. Okay, any other questions? Yes, please. How come only the ladies ask questions?
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Uh, Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Yes.
So my question regarding this LA fire.
What?
So Los Angeles fire. What is happening?
Los Angeles
Yeah.
fire, yes.
So
I call it Loose Angeles.
Los Angeles, okay.
Too much loose behavior in Los Angeles, right? Go ahead.
But like so many people got affected, like combined effect, like rich, poor, middle class, everybody in that line of fire, everybody got affected.
Yes.
So how this karmic effect actually plays here? Like everybody,
What?
Karmic effect.
Yeah.
Like what kind of karma all together they have done combinedly, or individual karma has brought this natural disaster to them? So it's a very complicated calculation, it seems, because everybody has different karma. But what happens in this natural disaster when all these people, even despite having a different karma, but they really get affected equally?
Well, we have a temple in Los Angeles, right? Did the temple burn down?
I don't know, like who, definitely some people might have affected, and there might be
No,
some
the temple didn't
Christians.
burn down.
No, not the temple. Some other people. There might be some Christian faith or Muslim faith or whatever it is.
No, but the point is, did the temple burn down? No. The temple was protected. But a lot of people lost their houses, so many things. So we should always be under the protection of Krishna. And in some mysterious, wonderful way, he'll protect us. And will protect our, temple also. So we have to have that faith, Now, if something goes wrong, all right, we'll fix it, right? But the main thing is to have complete faith in Krishna. Just like you get into an airplane, well, you have faith that the airline pilot is not drunk. And he's sober and very serious, right? If he's drunk, then you're gonna. It's a very good possibility that plane will crash. So you have a lot of assumptions when you get into the plane, right? You have an assumption that everything in the airplane itself is working properly. You have an assumption that the pilot is a serious guy and he's not inebriated, or he's not a nonsense person, right? You have a lot of assumptions, and you hope that they're right, right? So in the same way, when you chant Hare Krishna, you should have full faith that Krishna is not different than his holy name, and you're directly in contact with the Lord. So wherever you go, you should always be chanting Hare Krishna and have the faith that he will protect you, because he promises it. As long as you are functioning like a real devotee, Krishna is promising to protect you. So you have nothing to worry about. Even in difficult situations, you will always be in some mysterious way protected. Okay? Have you ever been in difficult situations?
Yes, Maharaj.
Did you come out of it?
Honestly, today itself, like when I saw that news, I was so disturbed. I just came running to temple only. Because it was very disturbing to see that fire and people getting affected and their reaction to it.
Yeah, but it didn't happen to you.
No, but still it affect and very. You feel it, right? Like it could be any one of us also. Like, how are we different than them? Like, if you don't consider the devotion part, but we are also the same human being in the same material world, and the suffering is real. So it disturbed me so much. Like, and only resources like come to temple.
No, it should teach you a lesson. The lesson is chant Hare Krishna. And Krishna is promising to protect his devotee. Konteya pratijani. Name bhakta pranasyati. Declare loudly, Arjuna, that my devotee will never perish. So you should double your faith in Krishna when you see those type of horrible things happening to other people. And you should pray, you should pray for them, but you should pray that Krishna protect you. You should pray Krishna protects your relatives. Krishna should protect your mother and father and things like that. We should always be praying. Not for money, but for the welfare of all people. Now, of course, what you saw today or yesterday is horrible. But see, that's because they have bad karma. You have to understand why it happened to them. They have bad karma. They must be doing bad things. Well, obviously they're doing bad things. They're eating meat and they think it's okay. They're drinking liquor, they think it's okay. They're engaged in illicit sex, they think it's okay. They're doing all these things that are bad and sinful, but they don't even think it's sinful. So that's their ignorance.
Yeah, that brings us to one more question, Maharaj. Like
Yeah.
human life, like when it is 8.4 million species of life, when it comes to human form. So this is the time when you inquire about who am I as well as who is God. But how come this is not natural in every human being? Like human beings are different. Like some human being only questions that inquisitiveness comes only in some human beings, not all. How is that this is not natural in everyone? If a human form is the only form where you should be inquiring, but why it is not natural? That
One time, I think I was 10 years old, and I was with my father, and I said to my dad, I said, Pop, I said, every day I wake up, I take my bath, put on clothes, I eat some breakfast, I go to school, I come back for lunch, then I go back to school again, then I come back and I have some dinner and I do some homework and I go to sleep. I said, what's the meaning of all this? And he gave me a big, big slap. He said, don't ask stupid questions. I never asked another question from my father. Yeah, so you see, some people are so much in ignorance that they don't want to think about these things, right? Just like you're thinking, why is this happening to these people? Look how much they're suffering. Well, yeah, they're suffering because they have bad karma. That's the explanation. Now, do you know what their karma is? Do you know what your karma is? You never know until it actually happens. But we do know that you can change your destiny by becoming Krishna conscious. That's why I joined the Hare Krishna movement. When I learned that you could change your destiny. Now, I had really bad karma. I knew that. I mean, before I was a devotee, so many bad things were happening to me. So I knew, and then I learned about karma, and then I realized I had bad karma. But when I read that if you become Krishna conscious, then you can purify all that karma. And I said, wow, I didn't know that before. So that's when I joined the Hare Krishna movement. And good thing is, I've never had anything really, that's gone bad in my life since I became a devotee. Even there might have been some instances where there was some difficulty, but always Krishna has protected me. So we should understand that and take up Krishna consciousness seriously, And Krishna has promised that he'll protect you. So that's a gold standard protection. And
thank you, Guru Maharaj.
And it's free. Yeah. Okay, well, it's 5 after 9, so I think it's time to go get ready for a Betty Bye and pick everything up 11 hours from now. Haribol. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.